I've been on YouTube 7 years, and it gets harder and harder every year to grow. It gets harder and harder to gain traction, to gain attention, and whatnot. And when you get caught up in these numbers, it gets even more difficult. And YouTube is making it easier to get caught up in the numbers. Good evening, YouTube. All right, this is gonna be fun. I kind of did a small bullshit video earlier. Didn't end up uploading it. I might edit segments in, but whatever, that's not the point. The point is, YouTube has a brilliant fucking way of screwing over smaller creators. YouTube is screwing over small creators yet again. And to an extent, I understand why. There's so many new creators entering the platform, it stretches ad revenue very, very thin. On top of the fact that, according to the thing, they don't want bad actors to negatively affect the platform, which I understand. But at the same time, if you look at what's happened with the last adpocalypses, it's been huge channels screwing up big time, or to a lesser extent. Like, you have PewDiePie with the Jew jokes and saying the N-word. Not honestly, not that big of a deal, but it still threw everything in uproar because he's the largest creator on the platform in terms of sub count. He had a hit piece done by mainstream media, Wall Street Journal, among others. Then most recently, you had Logan Paul showcasing a dead body. And then you also have what happened towards the end of last year with the family-friendly content that's not exactly family-friendly. And then you have Elsa Gate, you have Daddy05, you have other big channels like some of these toy channels that have completely screwed things over. So at the same time, what the hell? YouTube is screwing over small creators because of what some big creators have done. At least that's what it looks like. I still think it's kind of more in terms of the YouTube ad revenue spread so thin. That might be part of the problem. And the fact that there's also, like Philip DeFranco mentioned, a lot of rip-off channels trying to rip content, re-upload, make money while they can, get that money, and then basically the channel gets shut down, or somehow they keep going. Don't entirely know, but whatever. But anyway, how this screws over small creators, they already put a milestone speed bump last year with the 10,000 views. I just got my parents' channel up to 10,000 views a couple months ago, and like, they being a rodeo based channel, you really only have competitions which you can get videos from a late February to mid-November, give or take, and other stuff thrown in here and there. So it sits here like channels like that who, one, the videos run usually less than a minute, so you're not going to get a lot of watch time unless people watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and have a ton of people watching. So channels with small form content are going to get extremely screwed over. They're gonna get extremely screwed over because, like, these will be like your animation channels. These will be some of your sports highlight channels, or like I said with my parents' channel, it's almost strictly rodeo channel. It actually is a strictly rodeo channel, and those are gonna get screwed over because there's now a 4,000 watch hours, which is roughly 240,000 minutes worth of view. And it's sitting here like, what the hell? Like, I'll show my English, Connor. Can you even freaking English? Like, my watch time in the last 28 days sits just 50 minutes underneath that goal. So that I pretty much have covered because it's within the last 12 months that you need to get that. So I think on my channel personally, I'm okay. I'll have to look at my parents' channel and I'll put those side by side just to give you an idea. And you also need 1,000 subscribers. That's where it's going to be fun to try and get to, because your first milestones are some of the hardest ones to get to. Because Getting that first 1,000 subscribers is hard. Getting your first 100,000 subscribers is hard. Ask other YouTubers. Look, they have some videos talking about it. I don't know them off the top of my head, but a lot of the times they'll mention, like, yeah, your beginning growth is the hardest growth you will see. Once you get bigger, it gets a little easier because you get more attention. And on top of with the demonetization, if your videos are not monetized, chances are you're not going to see them in recommended feeds. You're not going to get them in suggested videos. People are going to have to physically search for your content. Because, one, you're small. People aren't going to be like, oh, hey, let's check out this person who has almost no views on any of their videos and are very small. No. People, you need to find ways to get into it. Because most of the promotion that happens with small channels is self-promo, or a select handful of friends help share videos around. And sometimes you don't even have that. So if you're not avidly sharing your content around, whether it be Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, then you're not going to get ahead of the game. And even those that are can fall way behind. Like, I'm in a YouTube group for YouTubers, obviously, and it's mainly for support of small channels, small creators, and whatnot, to kind of get the idea of how to grow your channel, give critiques on videos and whatnot. And it's helped me a little bit. I'll make another video on some of the things I use, but I use vidIQ and TubeBuddy. And so I suggest you use them because they help tremendously with your tags. And tags are one way people will find your content pretty easily. They'll be a way that it'll kind of surge your videos, give or take, depending on how well you use it. I'll do a video trying to, with my best knowledge, doing that, but that's another topic. So use the tools you have available to you. But another thing that's going to screw creators over, because I'm ineligible because I am not at 1,000 subscribers. I'm only at, 295, I think, as of right now. And so I'm ineligible. It's not an either or, it's a both situation. So I don't entirely know what to do with that. I've been on YouTube for 7 years, and it gets harder and harder every year. One, because of the saturation of creators. Two, because my content is extremely inconsistent, which this is a motivation for me to get consistent, to get that constant upload schedule, because that's one thing, like, the YouTube algorithm sets in. Like, if the more you watch a channel, the more likely they're going to be recommended to you in your recommended feed or in suggested videos, so on and so forth. So if I make more content, in theory, more people will be able to see my videos. Longer format content will also help you in terms of being able to get those 4,000 views or 4,000 video watch hours. And it's not too hard to get once you get into that rhythm of things, if you make the right content at the right times. Like, one thing that you can do to easily get that, as shitty as it sounds, as kind of whatever, is whenever a large creator screws up, make a video on it, even if you don't normally do that, because it'll give you a nice boost temporarily in watch time, views, and potentially subscribers. So the subscribers are very questionable. Because when I made a video on Jacqueline Glenn, I got a few subscribers out of that. I think I got 12 or 13 subs out of that. When normally I maybe get a couple a month, if that. So, sorry. I'm getting ready for bed, kind of, but this is something I really need to talk about. So it's sitting here. You need to do what's best for your channel, what you can do to grow, because this is going to push a lot of people off of YouTube entirely, especially if they're only doing it for the money. If you're only doing it for the money, one, you're in YouTube for the wrong reasons. Two, what makes you think YouTube is going to be this huge money bag unless you're already popular, already have some other revenue stream? So, like, Phil DeFranco made a great comment in his video of, if you are going to want to make money off of YouTube, start trying to get affiliates, like TubeBuddy has an affiliate, which I'll link below. I'm still in the Amazon affiliate, but I'm kind of on the verge of not, because people don't click in my description, apparently. So yes, there's a unicorn over there because I'm in my parents' guest room helping them feed, and this is where my mom put all her unicorns. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, because that was needed to be said, is also like having a merch store, having something that people can physically purchase, having a Patreon, having some way that people can give you money in some form as like a donation or purchasing a product. So I'm actually working on getting my own merch line set up. I have a couple designs that my friend made, that I'm going to try and get up on probably on Teespring when I can. Probably this weekend I'll set that up. But anyway, where was I? Like, oh, with this, like I said, it's gonna push a lot of YouTubers off because they were only in it for the money. If you're only in it for the money, you're not gonna be very determined. You're not gonna be very resilient to changes like this. Those who are resilient are going to be successful in the end, in theory. As you could tell, 7 years on YouTube, not very successful in terms of the numbers. But I enjoy making the content. I'm always going to be making content. I'd like to be able to make a couple extra here and there to be able to help pay rent, to be able to help pay bills, or to be able to get something I really want. So it's sitting here like it's not a priority, but it'd be really, really nice, especially since I'm working a job that, if I lived alone, would barely cover rent and maybe a bill or two, and that's it. Goodbye, food. Talk about the best diet on the planet when you can't afford food. But anyway, oh, brain, where are you, brain? Also, it brought up in it with the Google Preferred. Google Preferred is basically your top tier creators that are quote unquote advertiser friendly. They're the ones that rake in the most views, the most watch time. They're typically the highest sub channels on YouTube. And now, this is the reason Logan Paul really affected this, is affecting the larger creators to where now, in theory, every video that a Google Preferred person uploads is going to get manually reviewed as soon as it's uploaded, meaning they will check for advertiser friendly to make sure another dead body isn't shown, which, yes, it's good, no, it's not, because there's a lot of content. Like, if you look at Rob Dyke, his content, I don't think he's Google Preferred, I highly doubt it, because he's still getting demonetized, but his content is very dark, it's very, very morbid, and that's what he does. And he doesn't show anything graphic, he just talks about these morbid topics, like his serial killer series, Seriously Strange, Twisted Tens, so on and so forth. Even Matthew Santoro is probably more likely in Google Preferred, has some of his top tens which can get very morbid, like the cute animals that that can kill people, or different serial killers or whatever. He'll do a dark video every once in a while, and it's going to affect them. I don't think it's going to have as big of an impact as smaller creators. What's going to have is enough of an impact, as we'll see in the coming months, on some of these top tier creators, and we'll be able to tell. I have a feeling. Because another thing too is, like, once you focus on the numbers, once you focus on the money, once you focus on the dollar signs, on all this, your content tends to lose traction in terms of who you are and how your personality is driven in these videos. Because you could tell, like, with some creators I've watched for a while, started when they were small, they kind of got bigger. Once they started getting that money rolling in, they changed. And this isn't every creator, this isn't all people, it's a few. But if you are in it primarily to make money, you can see that in the types of videos people make. These are your BuzzFeeds, these are your typical top 10 video channels, these are your reaction channels, these are some of your more basic content channels, or those like Scarce or Keemstar that typically focus on what's going to bring in the most views drama wise. And you can tell, like I'll watch Scarce, I'll watch Keemstar just because I like to keep in the news every so often. But they're not, their personalities are very dull. They don't bring really anything to the conversation except pointing out what the hell's happening. Whereas like Philip DeFranco, he'll talk about the news and he'll give his side of the story. He'll ask for yours. He's still very community driven. He's not money driven. Same goes for Boogie. He's very much, he'll talk about topical events, but he's not so focused on strictly making money. He makes videos because he wants to. It's therapeutic for him, as it is for many other creators, including myself. So making videos is a great way to release yourself and whatnot. But with this, if you're not, if you want to make any sort of money on YouTube, you need to get more dedicated. You need to focus more on YouTube, and it's hard when you have other life events. Like some of the reasons why I've been so inconsistent is trying to go to college. I have terrible Wi-Fi when I'm at my parents' house. I just got a PS4 so I can stream again, kind of lacking on that. I work a 45-hour a week job and whatnot. So there's all these outside factors for smaller creators who can't necessarily keep the consistency up all the time. And excuses are like assholes. Everybody has them and they all stink. But we have them for a reason. So you need to figure out a way to make content more consistent, and I'm going to be working on that. But I'm going to work on not uploading a video that's garbage, that's trashy, that's just not worth anyone's effort to watch it. I'm going to edit better. I'm going to get thumbnails fixed. I'm going to do so much more, kind of renovate the channel from here on out to where it's going to be quality, 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 with the occasional crappy video of like my dogs being cute or whatever. That's the offshoot. So I'm going to try and have at least a couple days a week where I regularly upload, and then going to kind of get some other random content periodically. And you'll know when it's oh, hey, it's kind of like bonus content. So anyway, if you want to support me, there's some affiliate links down below. I think I'll have the TubeBuddy. I'll have the Loot Crate. I'll have a couple others in there. And I think for today's Amazon affiliate, I will have my camera down below, which is a Canon 80D, I think. And it's really good. It's great for typical vlogs. It's great if it's honestly really good if you're a photographer. Um, Getting into those manual settings is insane with what you can do if you, especially if you have a tripod. So definitely, if you're a photographer, I suggest getting the Canon 80D. It's really good. It's the deal I got on it was pretty cheap, so I'll try and find that deal for you, or at least a good deal, because I'm not going to try and make you buy the most expensive thing on the planet, because that's just stupid. But definitely something I think you guys should try out. If you're into photography or video or anything, even if it's just to record your kid's soccer game. But anyway, I'll also be potentially diverting political content to a secondary channel, just so this one can be more of the advertiser friendly stuff, until like it's something that affects me or is nerd related comes up, then I'll post it here. But until then, we'll work on getting more political content to a secondary channel. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what the situation of Adpocalypse, I think it's 4 or 5.0 by now. Let me know. And definitely find ways to support smaller creators, whether it's the affiliate links, whether it's Patreon, whether it's buying merch. find a way, especially if you want to keep your creators that you enjoy around that don't have a huge fan base. So good luck to all small creators, and I hope that YouTube starts not overcorrecting things. I don't necessarily think this is an overcorrection because it's something that's probably needed, but it's definitely one that small creators feel and feel it hard. And that's what she said.